Hi everyone, I am Carol Keller, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Illinois in the United States, coming to you for my usual Tuesday afternoon live, a few minutes late. It's been a little crazy after work today, but I debated postponing till tomorrow and I didn't want to do that since I did it last week. So here I am with a mostly completed card for you today. And it's a fun one. I hope you're going to like it. It's a Starburst card. And it's very easy to do, which I will show you. I'm going to turn my camera around right away and set up. Here is what I mean when I say it's a Starburst card. I made several of them with different designer series paper. So here's one with the beautiful, I think it's called Nature's Prince designer series paper, and actually two, because I did the flower, one in white and one in gray granite. So this obviously is a completed one. And then I was playing with some designer series papers. This is from the Host set, which is absolutely gorgeous. The papers in there are so many. There are 48 sheets and they are gorgeous, just bright, bold colors. It's called Flowers and More, and it's 12 by 12. So perfect for those of us who scrapbook. And you can see it's not finished yet, but it's getting there. And then with two other papers in that same designer series paper pack, I did this one. And I think we're going to call that good. We just did some simple stamping, just stamps, ink, and paper. And then for today, because I wanted to feature several things, we'll leave this one out that's finished, yeah. And so we're using Awash in Beauty, this beautiful designer series paper. And all of these papers are going to be retiring. So we're going to start with a basic white card base. And I did not do a sample of this one completed yet, so this will be interesting because I don't think I'm going to be able to actually finish it. I can get as far as the tag, but there's going to be some embellishing that I want to do that I don't have prepared, but that's all right. We'll get as far as we can so I can show you the technique, because that's really the important part. So I'm going to bring in a little scrap because we are going to do some gluing. So I have, for the background base, I have Saffron, which is sadly retiring, and this is 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to put that aside for now. And then our base that we're going to be gluing our designer series paper on is 3 by 5. Whoops, this way, 3 by 5. And I just realized I already cut these down. So let me show you. I have some more of the Nature's Print cut so you can see what the size of the paper is, but we're not using these today. It's 1 1/2 by 4 1/4. So you cut 2 each from 2 different designs. So you end up looking with something that looks like this. And then we're going to cut them. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to move this over here for a second. And then we're going to switch to the actual paper I'm using. And I know that's a little confusing, but that kind of tells you how my day's been going. So we've got our rectangle, and we're going to use the trimmer and put the top left and the bottom right in that channel. And when you go point to point like that, it's better to put your blade kind of somewhere not right on the edge, and go one way and then the other, because sometimes if you just pull it down from one side or up from the other, the paper kind of gets crunched. So all of your pieces are going to be cut like that, from top left to bottom right, and you're going to end up then with 8 pieces. And for this card, it'll look like this. Okay, I'm going to move this back here. And so I have here are my 8 pieces, and directional is, I don't know, kind of a little bit of a problem, but we're going to make it not be a problem, or try to. And I'll show you what I mean. These are not directional. You can put them in any way. They're not necessarily, nothing looks upside down. For this, these might, but that's okay. So I am going to first find the center and mark it. So I've got my ruler, and it's 5 inches. So we're going to put little mark at 2 1/2 on each end. So at 2 1/2 here, and at 2 1/2 up here, because that helps us with placement of the first piece, and that's all we really need help with. And I'm going to grab my multi-purpose liquid glue, and we're going to put it on half. So we're going to start with this half, and basically I put it all around the edges, but I'm also putting it all in the middle because we have different pieces that we're going to lay down. So we want to make sure there's enough glue to hold all of them down, and you'll see what I mean as we go. So we'll start with, let's see, let's start with, yeah, we'll start with this one, I guess. And so I'm going to find those 2 points, and FYI, don't do what I did the first time. The first time I had glue on the points and I couldn't even find where the middle was. So that's why I moved it over to the left a little bit. And you want just the tip, maybe 1/4 inch or so at the bottom, like this. And we're going to just lay it. And so I see both of those little points. So maybe it's even a little more than 1/4 inch, but you want most of the overhang on this side, really, is what the idea is. Yeah, and this is, because of the way I cut it, they are going to be upside down, but that's all right. We're gonna, oh no, it's not gonna be upside down. I take it back. I was looking at it upside down. So then we're just gonna lay it right next to it, and that's why you need the glue, so that it's right there and you can position it the way you want. And we'll put the next one. Whoops, I did not want that glue on the outside. And just make sure it goes and overlaps on both ends, because that's super important. And then we're going to take another one of these. And then you'll see there's a little bit of space left. And we're going to fill that in a minute. I'm not going to use another whole piece, and I'll show you why. So then we're going to turn it over and trim. And I have a pair of snips that I use specifically when I am cutting something that's glued like this and maybe kind of sticky, or my adhesive sheets, and then I just periodically clean them off. They're pretty sticky right now, but they'll do. All right, and then this, will snip this too. Snip those little bits off. So I'm just, you know, going right next to the edge of that piece of white cardstock. And we'll get the little pieces out of the way, but the big ones, we're going to use at least one of them. And I need one with the flowers. So maybe we'll grab, let's see, will this one work? Yes. So you want one that's long enough to cover that section, and I am going to add just a little bit of glue here, because I want, this piece is small and I want to make sure it stays put. So we're going to add just a little bit of glue, spread it around a little, and then we'll put this here. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to just trim it like this. And then we're going to do the other side. So it comes together really quickly. So we're going to take those big pieces again. We're going to put our glue down. And sometimes I did do one card, I forget which one it was. Where did I put them? Let me see if I can pull it back in. I did do one card that only used 4 of the pieces. This one, and that's because I put the pieces down lower, so there was no little extra here. So it does depend how you lay them out, whether you're going to have a section open there or not. And I was purposely kind of playing with it to see if that was the case, if I could get away with just the 4. So you can. And then you would, of course, just lay them all down and then snip and not have that second extra little step. Put some more glue. And then we're going to lay down the other ones, again, alternating. And here is where the flowers are upside down. But like I said, I'm going to be okay with that. Here. Oh, and see, I got to be careful because I did not get that corner in. That was too low. I missed the corner over there. So really be careful and conscious when you're laying them down. And then this one. And again, you could play with cutting them so that all of these would be right side up, and I just didn't have time to do that. I'm guessing if you cut it from the other angle, from top right to bottom left, that might take care of that, but I haven't actually done it to see if that's the case. Is this big enough? Ooh, it's just going to be big enough, I think. Nope. I'm going to take that off. We'll use one of these. Because, oh, wait a minute. Here's another one. There we go. That is big enough. And I think I used 2. Did I use 2 different sides? Maybe not. Oh, no, I think that's right. Thought I messed it up, but I think I did not. Like I said, it's been kind of a day. And did everybody place their orders for the last chance sale? I cannot believe I looked online. Well, I looked online last night. If you saw my post from last night, I posted what had already been sold out before the actual sale part went into effect, because some of the things are discounted as of today, but they weren't yesterday, and a bunch of things still sold out. And then at lunchtime today, I looked again, and holy cow, a whole bunch more things have gone out of stock. A lot of stamp sets, but not just stamp sets. There were other things too. Some dies that I actually ordered for myself this morning went out of stock this afternoon. So I was so glad I placed that order. So if you want something, check. Do it, and I would say do it sooner rather than later. If you go online to the customer website, it will just pull up what's still available. So if you don't see it there, that means, or you put in the item number, it doesn't come up, it means it's already retired and out of stock. All right, for this layer, I'm just going to use my Stampin' Seal and put this here, center it. Could have snipped that bottom a little better, but I think it's going to be all right. And then it goes right on the card. Same thing with my seal again. I've got all little bits of glue and whatnot. It's a little sticky. And center this at the top. So the top and the two sides here have the same border. And so now we have room for a sentiment label. Like, you know, you saw the one that I just stamped and called it good there with the happy birthday. You could do that. But I'm using the True Beauty stamp set on the retiring list. So are all of the papers, the Nature's Print, the Host, like I said, and the Awash and Beauty. And then there are dies that go along with this. Those are also on the retiring list. And the paper is actually 10% off. So if you like it, like I said, now is the time. All right, so I have, and I'm bringing in a punch that is also sadly retiring. And I'm very sad because I use this a lot. I really like the design. So we're going to use it kind of one last time, maybe, for our sentiment. So I'm taking it from the True Beauty set, and it just says, just because. And I have a scrap. I decided I wanted to do the top part in Saffron, and hopefully I can make sure this is straight because it's pretty narrow, but we'll do our best. And I'm going to stamp it in the blushing, or the Balmy Blue, because that's what I grabbed. So let's see if this will work. Ooh, look at that. Nice and straight. All right, so I'm gonna throw that in here. It's a 1/2 inch wide, a smidge less than a 1/2 inch. And actually I'm gonna turn it this way just to make sure I did not, yeah, I wanna make sure I don't see any writing there. And I'm gonna save my little piece so I can make the border. Remember how I've shown you how to do that before? You leave the same border on each end. And we're gonna grab that pencil again and make a little mark, because I know that's how far it needs to go into the punch in order to have the same border on both sides. So I'm going to grab my snips. And then we're going to feed it back in, and hopefully it's long enough. Yes. Make sure you center it. And so that is our kind of our base layer, and then we've got our matte layer. And so for that I'm bringing in Balmy Blue, and I've got just a scrap, and you can see it's got kind of a rough edge, but we're just going to punch that off anyway, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to save that again and put this on with some seal. Yeah, Barb said a lot of things sold out. I know, it's been, I was afraid of this. I was afraid more for the cardstock and the ink refills, and some of those definitely have sold out, a bunch of them. More the ink pads and ink refills than the cardstock, at least from what I've seen. But it's all gonna go. It's kind of always a frenzy when that happens. And the Stamparatus, I thought was, they said if there were extras after the last chance list was done, that they were going to go in the online store, and they're already sold out. That is really sad. That is really sad. All right, so we're going to make our even border and mark it and snip it. Move all my little scraps out of the way and then feed it in. Let's do it this way. Again, making sure it's straight. All right, that looks good. And so this is gonna go, I think, right here. And here's where it's not finished, because I think I'm going to, I'm not sure do what yet, cut out maybe even flowers from another set. I don't know, maybe this one, since it matches up with this. So I'm not even going to adhere this, because I may move it over to the right like I did for that one, move it over and then put the flower and maybe some ribbon. So this is as far as I'm gonna go today, because I don't have anything set up to do that, to stamp and cut out and whatnot. So I'm gonna go this far, but tonight I will post the finished card so that you can see what I did. You know, I like this. This worked out nicely because some of the dies in the set are nice and small, and I knew they would work really well. So I've got to look at the dies that go along with that True Beauty stamp set. I think they're called Organic Beauty dies. And so I'm going to grab those and see what works, and hopefully maybe even some ribbon also. And then, like I said, I'll post the finished project tonight. So I'm going to sign off. That is it for today. I hope you like the design of the card. Isn't it fun and so easy? I'm going to snip that off. It's driving me crazy because it's a little crooked. But like I said, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. And if you need help placing an order, let me know. But your best bet is to place it yourself because of things disappearing so quickly. And I have the host code is in the post from last night. So if your order is less than $150, please use that if you're ordering from me. And I think that's about it for now. Hopefully, I don't think by next week, because I know the shipping is now between 2 and 6 days. So I am not even sure. I haven't placed my pre-order yet. All I did was order some things that I knew I was afraid were going to sell out. So I know it's going to take a while to get here. So I don't think I'm going to have them by next Tuesday, but probably the following Tuesday I can start giving you some sneak peeks. So I'm excited about that. Show you some of the brand new colors that are coming into the collection. I'm really excited to see what they look like in person. So once I get them, I will give you some sneak peeks of that. All right, I'm going to sign off. Like I said, take care, everyone. Happy stamping.